This conference will now be recorded.
Hi all, welcome to the session. Hope you all can see my screen.
Yeah, visible.
Okay. Yesterday I think we wrote few of the queries. So today we will continue with the same thing. Okay. And give me a second. So what we have discussed, okay, all the find options were completed. Okay. All the options were completed. The cross company, the find options and everything. Let me comment this out. Along with this, I want to comment this as well. Okay, done. Now, okay, everything is commented. Good. Let's say this one as well. Okay. Okay, now we are done. So today we will see the remaining steps. From that, first of all, we will begin with. Now we know about these find options and then field list. Now we will start with the index clause, and then we will see the options, where clause, join, where clause as well we have seen. We will see the index clause options and everything. Okay. Okay. So in the meantime, do you have any queries? Any queries?
Oh, nothing.
Okay. 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 Then see here. The next thing I want to start is with the join clause. Okay. Coming to this join clause, let's say there are two tables, table A and table B. You want to get the data from both the tables based on a condition. Okay, you want to get the related data or the unrelated data or combining the data of both the tables. Okay, then we are going to use something called join, and there are different types of joins here. Okay, there are different types of joins. What are those? The first one is exist join, second one is not exist join, third one is outer join, and if you do not mention anything, it will be an inner join. And please remember, in Dynamics 6 there is only one outer join, which is a left outer join. Okay, there is no right outer or full outer join in Dynamics 6. Okay, it will work only with left outer join. Okay, now let's take, there are two tables, ICI, card account, and then let's say we have one more table, ICI, card transactions and card transactions. These are the two tables. Now let's say I want to get all the transactions for all the cards. Then what I need to do? I need to use while select card account join card transactions where, okay, where card account dot card number equal to card transactions dot card number. Okay, so with this join we are going to get the data of all the cards that belongs to ESMF company. Is that right? Is that right? But in card account we are storing the data of fixed account, we are storing the data of current account, we are storing the data of savings account. Let's say you want only savings account, then what you need to do? You need to write a condition.
Can we use
And
alias names for this table?
no, alias names not possible in Dynamics 365. Okay, card account dot account type equal to ICI account types, and then you need to take savings. This is how we need to write the condition. So this is how we are going to work with the join, and this is the first type of join, which is a inner join. So what does the inner join does? It will first of all get the record from card account, and then it will go and search for the relevant records in card transactions, and then it will fetch all the records from the card transactions. Okay, that means it is going to fetch all the data that exists for the relevant data in child table. Okay, let me check. Let me write info, and then I will use card transaction. Okay, one second. Let me use a string format here. %1 hyphen %2 comma card account dot card number comma card transactions dot transaction amount. This is how we can work. Okay, this is how we can work with the inner join. Now let's see how does it work. Let me add a breakpoint and run. We will see how it is working. We will see the inner join, and then we will move to the next ones. Okay, it has hit the breakpoint now. So let me press F10. Oh, it's still busy here. Let's wait for a second. Okay, CS 1001, 1000 rupees. And then let me run CS 1001, 1500. So see here, this is how it is going to list out all the transactions. Okay, this is how it is going to list out all the transactions in case of inner join. Okay, now let's see one more thing. Okay, this is inner join, this is good. Now we know how it is working. Let's try the outer join. I told you that outer join means it's a left outer join. Okay, so I will simply copy this. I will simply copy this and paste it over here. I'll do one small change. Instead of inner, I will make it outer. Okay, and then save it. Let me comment this out. Now I want to see the difference between the inner and the outer. Let's see that. Let me run. I'm clearing all these messages here. Okay, now you can see here. Let me press F10. Oh, still loading. This is one thing I found really crazy with Dynamics 365 because it takes a lot of time if you need to debug or do something. Oh, now you can see here. C1002, 0. C1003, 0. C1000, CS1001, 1000. Now you are getting the good. Okay. So what is auto join? It is going to fetch all the matching records and it is going to fetch the remaining records from the left table. Got it? It is going to fetch all the matching records and then not matching records from the left table. That is what is called left outer join, or in case of dynamic sales, that is a outer join. Okay. Now after this, we have another type of join. Okay. Let us see what is it. I'm going to use it. I'm going to call it as exists. We have a join called exist, and along with exist, I want to add one more thing, and that would be not exist. Okay. Let's see what are these two. Let's see. Now exist. Exist means it is going to check for the existence of the record, and then if it is exist, it will print. Otherwise, it will not do. Okay. Because most of the times I saw the people getting confused of inner and exist. We will see the difference clearly today. Okay. Let's see that. Because exist means it will fetch the if the record exists. Inner means it will go and check for the existence. It is going to fetch all the records. Then what is the difference? In case of inner join, it will fetch all the matching records from the child table. In case of exist join, it will go and check for the existence, and if it once it finds the first matching record, it will return back. Let's say there are 1:100. In table A, you have one record, and in table B, you have the 100 corresponding records. Inner join will go and look at all the 100 records, whereas exist join will go and look at the first existence, and then it will come back. Okay, that's how it works. If the record exists, it will come back, unless and until you use some aggregate functions. We will see what are those as well. I will show you. I have sent the documents to your mail ID. You have given, na? Mohammad Moshir, MOHAMED, MOSHIR. I have sent you that mail ID.
I
One
didn't
second.
receive. Come on.
You did not receive? One second, let me check. Oh, it says address not found. One second, let me forward that back again to you.
Okay.
Okay. I have
Okay.
forwarded that. Might be it said address not found. One second, let me check. Now you can see here it came into the exist join now. Let me press F10. Oh, still it is busy. Just a second. Okay, check now once whether you have received it or not, and let me know. Yep, you can see here now it has printed. What is this for CS1001? Previously we got some amount which is 1000 or 1500, whereas for the same thing we are not getting anything. Why? What's the reason for that? What's the reason for that? Because we are using exist join. Exist join will check for the existence of the records, and it is not going to pull the table buffer. So when we need to use the exist join, if there is a requirement of identifying the existence of the record, you want to check the existence in a transaction table, but you don't want to pull the data. Got it? You want to check the existence of the record in the transaction table, and you don't want to pull the data. Then you need to use exist join. Similarly, we have the next type of join. What is it? Not exist. Let's see what is the difference now. If I press F10, it's saying C1002. Now exist join is returning the records that exist in both the tables, and it is going to return from the parent table. Not exist join is returning the not matching records from the parent table. Inner join is returning the records from the child table. Please remember this. This is very, very important. Okay, this is very, very important. Depending upon the type of join you are using, you will get the data. Okay, exist. Whenever you are working with the exist join, there is no need of writing this statement. Why? Because if you are using exist or not existence, it is not going to pull the data from child table. If it is not pulling the data from child table, what is the benefit of writing this? Okay, if you want to have the child table data, then go and use inner join. If you don't need the child table data but you want to check the existence, then use exist join. If you don't need, if you want to check the non-existence of the records, then use not exist join. Okay, this is how we are going to work with joins. Okay, and one more thing. So whenever I used to explain about these joins, or whenever I ask in interviews the same question, I used to get the answer saying that I worked only with two tables. I worked joining only two tables. This is how I used to get the answers. So please remember, if you're joining two tables or in tables, everything is same. Now let's say I want to get the customer details. Okay, so I will take customers. What is the table name? It's ICI customers, and then let's say ICI savings. Let's say ICI card account. Let's say ICI card transactions. Okay, now my requirement is I want to get the customer accounts for which there are card transactions. How to do that? You can simply say while select customers join savings where savings dot customer ID equal to customers dot customer ID join card account where card account dot account number equal to savings dot account number join card transactions where card transactions dot card number equal to card account dot card number. Okay, now let's say the requirement is to fetch only data from the customers table. Okay, now the requirement is only to fetch the data from customers table. Then what we can do? I want to get the matching records, so I can simply put exist everywhere. I can put exist everywhere. I can put exist join everywhere here. Now let's say the requirement is to pull out the customer data for which there is savings account and card account, and there are no card transactions. Okay, first of all, let's say this. I will simply say info strfmt, and then in the bracket I will take %1 hyphen %2 comma customers dot customer ID comma customers dot name. Okay, and similarly, let's say I want to get the details of not existing customers. Then what you need to do? You can simply say not existing. Okay, let's say now you want to pull the data of the card transactions. You want to pull the data of card transactions. What you need to do? What you need to do? You need to simply use inner join. Okay, here instead of this join, you need to take the inner join. Okay, inner join. Okay, inner join. Okay, and here there are two things to remember. If you display customer and card transaction, if you display one by one transaction, it's of no use. What you need to do? Instead of displaying one by one, you need to display the customer ID, customer name, and the total amount. What we need to display? The total amount. Then it would be more meaningful. So how to display the total amount? We need to display card transactions dot transaction amount, and this should be total. If I say total, we have something called aggregate functions. What are those? We have something called aggregate functions. What are the various aggregate functions available in Dynamics AX? There are different types. One is sum, second one is average, third one is minimum of, fourth one is maximum of, and the fifth one is count. What is the other one? Count. Okay, if you want to get the count of records, you need to use count. If you want to get the sum, you need to use sum. Okay, now let's try. I want to use card transactions now. I want to say sum in the bracket. Oh, sorry, just a second. I need to use here join sum of transaction amount and then from. But if I am using sum directly, here I am saying get all the records. Here I am saying sum. How it can get the sum? Yeah, it's not possible for that one. Na? Is it right? If I am using the sum, I am using the aggregate function. Okay, it is not throwing any error. That is well and good. But how it will retrieve the data? Let's see. We will see this again, and then we'll come back to this. Okay. First of all, let me execute the piece of code, and we will see what is the output that we are getting. Okay. Let me run. Moshe, did you receive it? Okay, now let's see. Let me clear these old messages. Okay, and then let me press F10. Okay, we got the details, and there are two. Okay, there are two accounts for which there are card transactions. Good. Now this is not existence. Now we should not get 1001. We got 1003 Raj. That's it. There is one customer who doesn't have the account. Now I am trying to get the sum. Let's see what it does. It is not printing any number. It says 16,300. Oh, what is this? Okay, it has given the total sum. Yeah, it has given the sum. But actually, I have two users. I have two customers. But it is giving the total sum. How to do that? So here comes into the picture. Here comes into the picture. What do we call as options? What do we call them? We call them as options. What does this options does? Let's see. We have different types of options. From first one is called order by. Order by is used to define the sort order. Whether you want to get the data in the ascending order or whether you want to get the data on the descending order. Okay, and the second one is called group by. How you want to group the data? How you want to group the data? Okay, we will define that using the group by. And along with this, there is one more option called index clause. Okay, index clause we will see again later on. The second one is called group by. Now I have while select customers. I will say group by customers dot customer ID. I wrote one more condition here. I am saying get the sum of transaction amount, but get that amount grouping by the customer ID. So what it will do? It will group by the customer ID and then give the amount. Okay. And let's say you want one more field, then you need to use customers dot name. I am saying group by customer ID and then customer name. Now let's see the difference. Let me comment this multiple joins thing. Okay, and then let me have the breakpoint. Let me run. We will see it. Okay. Now if I press F10, you can see 1001 Ramcharan 14,100, and then 1002 Shiv 2200. Okay, this is how we are going to work with the group by. And similarly, if you want to get them based on the sorting order descending, then you can also add order by and then customer.name DAC or ASC, whatever it is. Okay, please remember. And along with this, I told you there is one more called index clause. How to work with that index clause? It's very simple here. In the index clause, you can add two different types. Okay, one is called index and the other one is called index hint. Okay, I am commenting this piece of code. Okay, next we can use index or index hint. I am taking the simple address table again back to explain it. Address, and then what I can do, I can use while select, and then I will say address, and after the address you need to use index. And what is the index? What is the index here? I forgot on the address table. What are the indexes that we have created? 1 second. Let me go and check back. Open zip code composite key. Okay. Zip code IDX. I think this is the one. Okay. And then you can print whatever you want here. Okay. This is one way. This is one way. And there is one more way. 1 second. I want to just copy one of them. The address.city. Done. Copy, and then paste. Done. Okay. And similarly, along with this, we have one more called index hint. What is that? Index hint. And then you can mention whatever the index hint you want. I can say composite key. Done. This is my index hint. Now, what is the difference between both of them? Index, you're instructing the database, you're forcing the database to use that index. Index hint, you're saying the database, you're giving the database a suggestion. You're saying, if you want to take this index, take it. If you find something else which is best, use it. Index hint means you're suggesting the database to use that index. Index means you're forcing the database to use that particular index. This is the difference between index and index hint. Okay, this is all about the select statement here, and this is how we are going to work with them. Okay, now it's your time. Please let me know if you have any queries on the select statements. If there are no queries on the select statements now, I will move on to the next step, and we will start with AOT queries. Okay. Any questions? this is about all the select statements. Now let me do one thing. Let me stop this and we will start with the AOT queries. Okay. So to start with the AOT queries, I don't want to again explain you everything today about the AOT queries. I will start with a simple query as we have done for the select statements. Okay. Right click on the new item, and then you can see there will be a data model, and there is a node called query here. Hey, I told you to try map. I don't know whether you have tried it or not. Please try it out and let me know if you find any issues. Okay. Select the query, and I want to start with the same ICI address, and to make it more meaningful, I will add it query. Okay. Click on the add button. Now on this, if I right click and if I go to the properties, if I right click and if I go to the properties, you can see there are a lot of properties here. Title of the query, whether it is interactive or not, whether you want yellow check, yellow cross company. I showed you now multiple companies, pulling the data from multiple companies. If you want to do that, you can yellow cross company. And what is the form it should open? This form should be sys query form by default. Okay, please remember. Next, whether it is obsolete, what is the query type, whether it is a join or whether it is a union, whether it is searchable or not. Because we don't have union in case of select statements, na? You can use union in the query type here. Okay, user update. Now the important thing is the data source. You can add data source in two different ways. One is right click and new data source, and the second way is you can go to the tables, drag and drop the table to the source. And after dragging and dropping the data source, if you go to the properties, you can see there is a property called dynamic fields. If you set this dynamic fields property to yes, by default, you can see there will be no fields. If you set this dynamic fields property to yes, you will get all the fields. Okay, it is nothing but select star from. Okay, you don't want this. Then you can set it to no. And then you can remove the unnecessary fields. I'm removing the unnecessary fields. This is how you can work. And then after this, if I go to the data source properties, you can see there are few more enabled, whether this is enabled or not. Fast to fast, whether you want to get the first record faster, whether you want to get only the first record, whether you want to update the data or not. We have select for update now. Instead of for update, you have update here. If you set it to yes, it will set select for update to true. It will update select for update to true. Okay. And what is the concurrency model? Whether it's optimistic or pessimistic. Okay. Based on the requirement, we are going to set it whether it's optimistic or pessimistic. Okay. And then these are the few of the properties that we will work with. Okay. Now I want to discuss about them later on. Next, the ranges, the group by, having order by, we will see them later on. Now I want to show you how to work with this query. Let me save this. Let me create a new class. Click on the add button, new item, and then let me go to code. I am creating a runnable class. I will call this as ICI AOT queries. Okay. If you want to work with AOT queries, there are two ways. One is you can write a piece of code and you can check. That is one way. And there is one more way. The other way is you can create a view and then you can add a query to it. Okay. Let's do one thing. We will see the view as well. Okay. Go to data model and then view. So what is a view? What is a view? View is nothing but a read-only object. If you want the user, if the user has the requirement only to see the data, then we are going to create a view for it. He would not be able to update the data in the view. And you know one more thing that people used to confuse. Dynamics 365 has a concept called upgradable views. Upgradable views. What is this upgradable view? Yeah. Upgradable view means this view is not upgradable. Upgradable view means data entities. Please remember. Because most of the times people used to think, oh, in Dynamics 365 views can be upgraded. No, this view is not upgradable. Data entity is called the upgradable view. Please remember. Okay. Next, query. I will tell you when we go to data entities why we call in that fashion. Okay. Query. What is the query? The query is ICI address query. This is my query. I have added. Now, if I go to view metadata, we need to see that query, and then we need to see the data source, and then we need to see the fields. Now I can see all those fields here. View can be created out of a table. View can be created out of a query. I'm creating a view using a query here. Okay. Now the next step is whenever you create a view, you need to do a sync. And remember, whatever you are seeing here, you will see the same thing on the table as well. Okay. The only difference between the table and view is table is read write, view is read only. You can only read data from the view. Okay, please remember. Now you need to set sync to true. I'm done. Do a rebuild. We will do a rebuild, and then we will open the view and we will see whether we are getting the data out of a query or not. Build got completed. Now let me open the view in a table browser and we will see. Okay. Okay. It's loading and loaded. Now you can see here, you can't update anything. This is about a view and creating a view out of a query. Okay. And this is one way. Yeah, this is one way you can work with the queries. And you can also add a table directly. Okay. If you want to add a table directly to the view and then get the data, you can add a table directly. Okay. If you have multiple tables and if you have multiple joins, then you can add a query. Okay. Like this, you can do whatever you want with the view. Okay. Yeah, that's it for today. we will start with the remaining. I want to show you the query framework, and then I will start with this one. Okay. Now it's your time. Please let me know if you have any questions.
In query, can we have more than one table in AOT query object?
We can have, yeah, you can have any number of tables. I will show you that one, how to add it.
Okay, and all the and there was one property of allow update.
Yes.
So if I add 4 tables, then I can update all the table in that query.
That depends on the child data sources that you add. I will show you. I'll show you those properties. Okay, that depends on how you are adding the tables. Because
Okay.
you can't do a group by and then you can do a update. Huh? That's not possible.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Okay.
asking.
You can't do a
What
group by
will
and then
happen
you
then?
can't update. Okay, because most of the times people does that as well. Okay, whenever you are trying to update, okay, you need to apply some inner join and then you can do that. There are different ways to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Next, any other queries? Okay, thanks all for the session. Let's meet again tomorrow same time. Thank you all. Bye.